Hey, welcome everyone. Today we are here with Sara and Snimar from Eversource Energy, and we're excited to be talking about smart metering and AMI.
Thank
Welcome.
you. Thank you, Tushar, and thank you, LTI, for having us. Super excited to be here. As a matter of introductions, I can go first. I know, Tushar, you introduced yourself. My name is Snimar Chhabra, and I am the IT Data Director at Eversource Energy, and I'm here with my colleague, Sara.
Yes, thank you. Thank you again for having us. I'm Sara Radseszewski. I am the Architecture Manager for the Massachusetts deployment of advanced metering infrastructure
Awesome.
at Eversource. Thank you.
Awesome. So at DISTRIBUTECH, I think this is a very exciting topic to talk about. Again, I've been involved with the AMI industry for the past 14 plus years. Was involved in one of the largest AMI deployments in Texas back in 2009. So I just want to hear about your journey and how things are going. Let me just get started about where do you see Eversource being in the smart metering and the AMI journey for the Massachusetts market?
Well, I'd love to take that one.
Yes.
So we are currently an AMR shop. So we are rolling out our meters, our trucks to read 1.5 million electric meters every day. So I'd like to say that we're actually at the start of our AMI journey, but a lot of work has gone into actually the regulatory filing, the business case, the planning. We just finished our requirements phase. Our grid mod team has done some great work to get us to the point where we could actually start a capital project. So last year we kicked that off. We're finished with requirements blueprinting. We actually have a lot of knowledgeable vendors that are on our journey that are helping us along. And I'd like to say we're actually just starting the fun part, because now we're into design, into build.
Awesome.
And we're planning on deploying our first electric AMI meter midsummer of next year.
Oh, very nice, very nice. If I may ask, Sara, what are the meter vendors that you have selected to deploy in Massachusetts?
We've partnered with Itron
Itron?
for the Gen 5 meters.
Okay.
And we are working with Grid 1 as our meter installation vendors.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you. I guess the next question in context of AMI is, how do you see the role of data and AI evolving in the coming years? And what emerging technologies and methodologies are you guys looking at adopting? Have you decided upon that yet?
Yeah, I can take that one, Sara. So as the data director at Eversource, one of the things that we're doing right now, as Sara was mentioning, we're gathering our business partners and relying on partners like yourself, like LTI, Accenture, EY, TCS, and many others who've done this before, who've kind of charged the way for us. So we're gathering our requirements and we're going to build up a centralized platform. That platform is going to be in Azure, so we're considering, we are actually an Azure shop, and we're considering adding other tools and technologies to make the lives of our business partners better, so they can come to the central, well-governed data platform and run their analytics, and we can decentralize or democratize, I should say, the consumption of data, which has been a challenge for many of our utility partners, as well as for Eversource. So in terms of where we are in our AMI journey, we're only starting now. So we're at this critical juncture of starting development and finishing off our requirement gathering. As we build upon our platform, there are capabilities that we're looking to enable. We are pretty nascent in our data delivery and standing up our data platform. So the opportunities are endless right now, and also overwhelming because there's a lot of technology. At DISTRIBUTECH, there has been a tremendous amount of AI conversation. And we heard it over and over, data is the fuel for AI, but we need to get there. We need to have our fundamentals right. We need to get our basics down before we can venture into AI. There are use cases that we're considering on, how do we make our platform better? How do we use AI intrinsically within Eversource? But there's a lot going on, Tushar. I know I went off in a tangent, but there's a lot going on. I'm focused really on building our foundation and getting our fundamentals right, so I can give business partners access to analytical data so they can run the business.
Yeah, and the way I see this, and over the years what I've noticed is, this is a journey.
It is.
Right? It's going to be progress versus perfection. So as long as you're making the right progress, that's going to be the key. And the exciting part of it is there is going to be new technologies that come along the way.
Right.
There will be industry-proven models that will come along the way, which you can adopt. And yeah, it's going to be a fun journey is the way I see it.
Yes, we're very excited.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, have you started looking at the diverse set of data that you're getting? See, when we look at AMI, it's just not the meter data that's coming in, right? It has to be tied into, say, weather data. It has to be tied into your geospatial data. It has to be tied into several other corporate data sources as well.
Yeah.
And along with that, the customer preferences, right?
Correct.
So have you started looking into how you're going to integrate these various data sets into the mix?
Yeah. So with the centralized platform that I was alluding to earlier, Tushar, we have a lot of need for data to be centralized. We have a lot of journey analytics sort of use cases that we need to enable. So you're spot on. We have customer data. We're truly talking in IT language. That is a dependency for AMI, right? We need to have good, solid, foundational customer data in our platform. As we bring in AMI, we'll have meter data, and how do we leverage that? That's on us. So yes, there's many disparate systems like storm data that needs to come in. We were having a conversation with one of the partners on distributed intelligence. So how do we present this data back to our customers? I think the opportunities are endless. As we come to these amazing avenues like DISTRIBUTECH, there's these novel ideas that I hadn't considered at all. So as we continue conversations, and you have so much industry knowledge, our partnership, I really value that as, we come to the table together. What are other novel use cases that we can enable that we haven't considered yet? We're going to look at it from an IT program, very much so. So we'll have, set scope and data assets that we'll bring in. But once we have our fundamentals, I keep going back to that. Once I have my fundamental data, once I have those foundations built up, we intend on exploring and enabling as many use cases as we can.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. It's going to be exciting, right? I mean,
very much
you're
so.
doing it from Massachusetts right now.
Yes.
I think
And
the next in line probably is going to be Connecticut and New Hampshire.
And New Hampshire, yeah.
So you have a fair bit of a runway on this,
Yeah.
right? And then I don't think we've included gas and water into this equation
That's right.
as yet.
Right.
I was going to say, and we're lucky. You have a ton of experience with AMI delivery. We have a lot of other utility companies that we've met at DISTRIBUTECH, Sara and I have, who've done this before.
Yep.
And that's an amazing part of DISTRIBUTECH, as well as leveraging other experiences and other lessons learned that other utility companies have had. So
you're so right.
We're not the trailblazers, but we're happy not to be the trailblazers.
No. It is actually you. I would say you guys are in the perfect spot. And
Yes.
being a trailblazer, in one way is good because you don't have to care about what others are going to talk about. But at the same
That's a
time,
good
I
way to put
think
it.
you get a lot of learnings and the experiences that you
Exactly.
want to capitalize on. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk about learnings and best practices. Would you care to share some of what you've already done and what you've learned out of it? And maybe we can take that learning to some other folks who are just embarking on the program?
Yeah. Do you want to start, Sara?
Sure, I'd love to start. Actually, I think you had a great point. I would always say surround yourself by people that have done this before.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fantabulous vendors that are working with us, like LTI, that have done successful AMI implementations, and we're learning from them every day, and we're able to kind of retain that knowledge and make it so that we can sustain this after implementation. So that's been fabulous, but also the other utilities, we're lucky to be in an industry where we're not competitive, so we can actually communicate with them and talk to them, and they can share their lessons learned. So we're not making the same mistakes. We're making our own mistakes. But that's a wonderful thing. I would say surround yourself with people that have done this before.
Yeah.
And then I think this is such a core business impact. It's a foundational change to our core business. So the communication and making sure that we're actively coordinating with other projects, because the world doesn't stop when you go through a 3-year project. So making sure we're actively communicating with other projects to align dependencies, whether it be resources or system changes or business process changes. We need to make sure that we're keeping systems whole and we're aligning with those projects. And we're communicating with the product lines to make sure that they know the changes that they're going to be supporting in the end.
No, you're right on.
Yeah, and then I think lastly I'd say like focus on the foundation. So we're working on a minimal viable product. Like how do we get this up off the ground and running and build a stable foundation so that we can continue to build on top of it. The possibilities are endless. I think we don't even know all of the things that AMI is going to bring with all this new information because it's all about the data. So I think really building that strong foundation as a core MVP and then working towards building on top of it after that is a good lesson learned as well.
I don't know. I mean, if I just talk from some experience, your meter data is the core for your business.
Yes.
It's the meter to cash process, which starts with the meter data.
Yeah.
Right. But besides that, I think since you're making, I would say, a quantum jump from AMR to AMI 2.0 or 3.0, right? I think you're getting ahead of the curve from where some of the utilities who actually deployed it about 10 years ago,
yes.
right? So that is a more exciting part. And I believe, back then there was no analytics. So now there is going to be a lot of learnings that come out that are going to enable your businesses in more effective manners, right? So this is awesome. This is great.
It's exciting.
Yeah. And if I can add to what Sara shared, we need to make sure that we're all collectively ready. And you touched on that. Analytics is something that we can enable quickly, but is the business side of the house of Eversource, are they ready to consume the data? And are we thinking as Eversource, not IT or business, but as Eversource, are we ready to take our data to the next level? We had a fantastic keynote speaker earlier today who was talking about the customer experience. We need to be managing our organization through this change and making sure that we're bringing everyone along. So I think that's a really key one that we're taking from some of the projects that we're currently in right now, and a guiding principle. How do we all go on this journey together? It cannot be, Sara and I leaning on yourselves, but it's all of us, all of Eversource. It's a big change, and it'll impact our customers, it'll impact our frontline. So we need to kind of hold hands together and
break the silos.
Yes,
absolutely.
break the silos. And ask the question. I think that one is another one that is a guiding principle almost for me, regardless of a project. Ask the question. Someone else has the same question as you probably are thinking about, so ask that question and double click into it. That's all.
No, perfect. Thank you. And this is really, really interesting insights, and I would wish you both the best. And obviously, as a team, we're obviously here to help in any way possible. But thank you again, and really appreciate you joining this talk with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Tushar.
Thank you.